What's the first thing you think of when you think of a biker? I'm talking about motorcycle riders here. 'Cause a lot of people see a group of bikers and automatically assume that they're thugs or gang members. And let's face it, a lot of them do look a little scary, decked out in their leather and their metal and their tattoos, and riding on top of a really loud, rumbling engine. But Hollywood doesn't really help this stereotype either, do they? Typically, when you see someone riding a motorcycle on screen, that's the villain or the rebel. The Terminator's leather jacket and sunglasses and motorcycle sure made him look a lot meaner. And in the Sons of Anarchy TV series, they can't get through an episode without the bikers killing, moving drugs, or committing some other felony. So who are real bikers? I could tell you that motorcycles are just a mode of transportation, but that's not really true. Most motorcycle riders do join clubs, and even if they don't, there's still this sense of camaraderie with other bikers. But you might be surprised to learn that more often than not, motorcycle clubs are doing good, not evil. Meet BACA, or Bikers Against Child Abuse. These guys exist to create a safer environment for abused children, and to empower those children to not feel afraid. They offer physical and emotional support, and BACA members are sometimes the only obstacle between a child and someone who has abused them. This is Chief, BACA's founder. He is a biker and a social worker who works with abused children. He was frustrated because he would see kids he worked with make real progress, only to have it undone because the abuser would drive by that child's home. So in 1994, he asked some biker friends to ride with him to a child's home. That day, 40 bikers showed up. BACA now has 160 chapters in 5 different countries. For each sponsored child, the story begins with an empowerment ride and an adoption ceremony. The whole chapter rides to the child's home to meet them. They present them with a motorcycle jacket and patch to remind them that they're part of the BACA family now and that BACA will protect them. It doesn't end there, though. 2 members are assigned as the family's primaries. They visit weekly to build a relationship with that child and remind them that they're not alone. If she's afraid to go to school, BACA members will take her to school. If she's afraid in the middle of the night, members will stand guard outside her house all night. And when it's time to go to court to testify, the entire chapter escorts that family to court. Bikes in front, family in the middle, and bikes behind. BACA doesn't leave them at the door either. They sit in the courtroom and act as that child's rock while she faces and points out her abuser. BACA says their job is not done until that child is safe and feels safe. Let's talk about another great biker organization, the Patriot Guard. The Patriot Guard began in 2005. Why? Members of the Westboro Baptist Church began holding shocking protests at the funerals of fallen military heroes. 20 bikers joined forces to stand between those protesters and the service member's family. They carried American flags to shield the family from the hateful signs of the protesters. The Patriot Guard is now nationwide. Their main mission is still to attend the funerals of fallen heroes. They come as invited guests of the family and still act as a shield against protesters. But equally, they're there to show their respect for the fallen and show their sympathies to the families of the deceased. If you think these guys look intimidating dressed in their full biker gear, that's the point. It should be noted that the Patriot Guard never resorts to violence or illegal activity in their efforts to deter protesters. And protests at military funerals have declined since the Patriot Guard began taking action. The Patriot Guard has also found other ways to honor our military. When invited, they'll recruit volunteers for send-off missions, in which Patriot Guard members will see soldiers off that are being deployed. Equally as important, they coordinate welcome home missions to greet returning soldiers and show appreciation for their service. And I bet you've never heard about BURN, which stands for Bikers Urban Response Needed. They're a volunteer biker organization with more than 1,000 members. When these volunteers are called to action, they do what bikers do best. They ride. But they ride to find missing children. They're the extra eyes and ears for the search effort. BURN members begin their searches at the last known location of the child and other locations of interest, and they canvass outward from there. They put up posters, canvass neighborhoods, and go door to door with pictures and information. Being able to organize and deploy these volunteers quickly is critical when a child goes missing. BURN is the tactical division of the Center for Search and Investigations, or CFSI. CFSI's goal is to provide services to families of missing children, and for CFSI and BURN, it's all about being able to say these 2 words: found safe. It may also surprise you to know that there are over 100 different Christian motorcycle clubs in which members with similar beliefs can ride with other members of their church. Some of these clubs are referred to as motorcycle ministries, and members set up booths at motorcycle events as a way to share their faith with other bikers. Not all bikers are as committed to a single cause, but there are also many group rides each year in which bikers give donations to participate. Just a few of these are Bikers for Babies, to benefit the March of Dimes, Dream Ride, to benefit the athletes in the Special Olympics, the Love Ride for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, and countless others. More often than not, the groups bikers decide to join do good things for the community. So does riding a motorcycle mean that you need to be a caped crusader? No, of course not. But the American Motorcycle Association put it best way back in the 1960s when they said 99% of motorcycle riders are law-abiding citizens. Most riders work full-time and ride their bikes on the weekends for recreation. Bikers that you see on the road are probably coworkers and acquaintances that you never even knew owned a bike. People ride because riding a motorcycle is an experience like nothing else. There's a sense of freedom and excitement to just cruising down the road with the sun on your back and the wind roaring in your ears. You hear, see, smell, and feel your surroundings as an active participant, not just a passive observer. So no, owning a bike doesn't make someone a good person, but you'll be wrong if you assume the worst about someone because they happen to be riding on two wheels.